Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing a very much overdue book haul because I just counted and I think that there are 33 books here to show you and talk about with you. So this is it's gonna be a long one. Just go ahead and strap in. It is definitely on the bigger side for what I usually do for book hauls for my channel. I try to keep it around like 15 so they just aren't an hour long, but I love watching hour-long book hauls, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one as well. Don't mind the angle change, I needed to fix the lighting a little bit, but either way, that is what we are doing today. I am so stoked about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I haven't done a book haul here in a minute, so let's just get this show on the road before this video takes a million years. So I've broken everything down into sections based on genre, so they're not in order of how I got them. Also, I did not get them all in one go, but 10 of them I did get all in one go. If you watch my reading vlogs, then you would have seen in increments when I got all of these books, but I'll link my book shopping vlog that I recently did in the description below in case you guys haven't seen that one. It was very fun and I let myself go crazy, so you can watch that if you would like. For the genres that we have, I'm gonna leave timestamps in the description below if I'm not feeling too lazy when I edit this. So we have romance, book of the month / thrillers, because all of my book of the month books are thrillers, and then manga, which is my biggest stack, young adult, which is a surprise to us all, and then miscellaneous. So we're gonna dive into the romance. That is one of the bigger stacks for sure. My most recent romance purchase is Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This one is one that is apparently really popular on Book Talk. I personally don't watch TikTok like at all. I scroll on it every once in a while for like 30 minutes every 2 weeks. It's just not really my thing. It's not really my format. It's not how I enjoy spending my time. I'm not shaming anyone who does book talk. I know I've heard it's a lot of work and I'm not shaming anybody who watches it at all. It's just personally not my favorite thing. But this was on the book talk table at Barnes & Noble and I have seen quite a few like bookish memes and stuff floating around about it. So I figured I would pick this one up and see if I enjoyed it also. This one is about two addicts. The female protagonist in this is addicted to sex and the hero is addicted to alcohol. I've heard that it's very heartbreaking and I am so excited to allow this book to break my heart. So one of my current reads actually is Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. Like I said, this is one of my current reads. I just finished It Happened One Summer, I think last month, and I really enjoyed that one and I'm so glad that I read it. If you're unaware about what It Happened One Summer is about, it is kind of like a spin on Schitt's Creek. If you know anything about that show, the heroine in that book is very similar to Alexis Rose in personality, and basically something happens to our main character Piper in the first book where her stepdad decides to cut her off based on an incident that occurs, and she has to kind of make her way with limited amount of money and actually having to work for something in this small town called Westport, where her birth father actually lived, grew up, and then eventually unfortunately passed away. So she's learning more about her roots and really just about life and what real life is like for people who don't just have a completely disposable income, literally. It's very fun, very funny, and also very steamy, and I loved that book, so I knew I had to pick up the sequel. This one is following Piper's sister Hannah and her friend that she has a crush on but won't admit to herself, Fox, who is the best friend of the hero in Piper's book. I'm currently about 70 pages in and really enjoying this one, and I'm thinking about doing a dedicated spoiler-filled vlog for this, so if you guys are interested in that, let me know for sure in the comments below because I would be more than happy to vlog my experience with this. It's already made me smile and like squeal so many times, so I know this is gonna be a good time. Why am I talking about it like it's a TBR? If you guys saw my book shopping vlog, which I would so appreciate if you checked it out, you would know that I picked up a few books that I have already read, but I just didn't own physical copies of, because I want my shelves to be more representative of what I actually read and really enjoy, and not just books that sit there and collect dust, which some of them have been for a really long time, which is why I'm also working on an unhaul. We have 5 here. The first one is The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. This is my favorite book in the Wedding Party series by Jasmine Guillory. This is one of my favorite romance series of all time. I read it on audiobook for the Reading Rush, the first year that it was called the Reading Rush, I'm pretty sure, and I loved it. Like I said, it's my favorite, so I knew I had to have a physical copy of this one. Then a more recent read for me and a more recent release is Count Your Lucky Stars by Alexandria Bellefleur. This is the 3rd book in this trilogy, I think. This one is following Margot and Olivia. It's a female-female romance. It has like astrology sprinkled in there, and it's very fun, and I really enjoyed this one. And it's also my favorite cover in the series, so as soon as I saw the cover I was like, well, gotta own a physical copy, way before it even came out. So after I read it, just to make sure that I like loved the book and I wanted it on my shelves, which I figured I would, but you know, just wanted to make sure before I actually spent the money. I was like, yeah, okay, has to happen. Then I picked up a couple of Colleen Hoover books. So one of these is not romance, but we have Heartbones and Verity, both by Colleen Hoover, obviously. The bookstore has not carried these in paperback for such a long time because she independently published both of these initially, and I loved both of these so much. I really enjoy Colleen Hoover. I needed these because it felt like a big part of my shelves were missing without these on them, so I had to pick these up. I knew I was going to grab them once I went in there, and I am so glad that I did, because now my shelves just feel more complete and representative of me, which was really the goal of all of these books, but especially the ones that I don't want to say like were on my backlist, but like my backlog of books read but not owned, if that makes sense. And then lastly, for books that I already read and really loved but just didn't own a physical copy of, we have The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. They are traditionally publishing this by Bloom, I believe, and I love them, right? They're beautiful covers, they're the same covers, so that's great and everything, but I literally own the other 3 books in this series in this same edition. So I really needed to own at least one of the middle ones, otherwise I would have, no, I can't even like picture, I can't even pretend to visualize what that would have looked like. It just would not have sat well with me. So I did already read this one, I think last summer, and I really loved it. It's one of my favorite Elle Kennedy books, not that I've read much of her backlist, but I knew I wanted to own a physical copy of this one, and I just needed to find this specific Elle Kennedy imprint edition, otherwise I was going to lose my mind. The last 2 romance books that I have, we have Barbarian Alien by Ruby Dixon. I have not read this one yet, but this is the sequel to Ice Planet Barbarian, which is the first book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I read that in, I think, like January, and really enjoyed it, and I love these covers. They're so beautiful, and honestly the first book was amazing, and I'm highly looking forward to reading this one as well, because I have a feeling that I'm going to love it just as much. Rylan reviewed it, and her review on Goodreads said that the banter in this one is A1. And then lastly, for the romance section, 10 minutes in, Priest by Sierra Simone. This is my first Sierra Simone book, and it's my first time really reading a taboo romance. This one is about a priest who ends up falling in love with someone and really struggling with that and fighting the urge to be with her because he's a priest and he's sworn to be celibate, and that goes completely against his vow. I'm 130 pages in and really enjoying it, but I think I'm going to save the rest of it for another reading vlog that I want to do, but so far I'm enjoying this one and it's super easy to fly through. All right, completely switching gears, we are going to go to my book of the month books. In my most recent box, my pick, I chose a previous box to get from because I just wasn't really intrigued in any of the April picks, but I got The Golden Couple by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I haven't heard amazing things about this, but the synopsis sounds so intriguing that I had to pick a copy up. I have one of their other books on my shelves actually, and as the author duo goes, I have heard quite a good amount of things, positive things about their writing, so I am very intrigued to see how this one goes. The only person that I've really heard talk about it is Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte. If you guys have watched my channel, you know that I am obsessed with her. But this one is about a therapist who swears she can cure you in 10 sessions or less. Then somehow the patient that she most recently takes on and her life intertwine and things get twisty from there. That's really all I know about the book, and I am excited. It sounds like it's going to be really, really, really interesting. At least it's very, very intriguing premise, because I would love if therapy worked in 10 sessions or less, but girl, I have too many problems. Then the other one that I picked as my add-on, because I had quite a few credits building up, I chose The Maid by Nita Prose. Again, Olivia recommended this one and said that this one was a cozy mystery, and that's really what drew me in, because the only two cozy mysteries that I've read are the first two books in the Misfortune series, and I love those, and I'm so glad that I'm reading them, which reminds me that I need to grab another one really soon. I thought it would be fun to switch it up and get out of that world and see fully if I just enjoy that series or if I enjoy cozy mysteries as a whole. And I think I enjoy cozy mysteries as a whole, but I just needed an excuse for I don't need an excuse. This is a book haul. I bought the book because I wanted the book. You guys get that, you know. You already know. But this one is about our main character, Molly, and the tagline says, "A dead body is one mess that she can't clean up," and that sounds immaculate. Other than that, I don't really know anything, but I am super excited to get to this one. Also, those papers are just so pretty. Yeah, obsessed. Plus, it's not very long, so if I'm in a reading slump, this is definitely what I'm going to gravitate towards. It's just a good book to have on my shelf, you know? Then, the previous box that I got for my book of the month pick, I picked the Book of let me just throw it. The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. I've heard a lot of really good things about Simone St. James and her paranormal thrillers. I've heard that she does them really well, but I have not read anything by her yet. So I don't know anything about this one other than, it takes place in Oregon. I know that now. So I'm very excited. I've never read a paranormal thriller, so hopefully I enjoy them. Maybe that could be another reading vlog that I do, trying paranormal thrillers for the first time. Either way, this cover is beautiful. I want to try Simone St. James because, like I said, I've heard so many amazing things about her. And that's really the only reason that I picked this up. Plus, the title sounds really cool. And it takes place in Oregon. The reasons just keep piling up. What was this? And the last Book of the Month book that I got as an add-on in that box for March was one from a while ago, and that is True Story by Kate Reid Petty. I saw this, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I literally picked it up because I saw the cover on Ryland's Snapchat story and thought it looked amazing, which is so embarrassing to admit, but it sounds good. It's a contemporary fiction novel, but Ryland said that it gets pretty dark, so definitely look up content warnings before reading it. It seems like it's going to err more on the thriller side of things, which is what I'm hoping to get out of it. Maybe it seems that way because I'm just hyping it up like that. All right, moving on to manga. I have quite a bit, and literally half of it, if not more, is from one of my best friends in the world, who I won't say her name because she doesn't really want to be on camera. Not that she's here or anything, but I just want to respect her privacy as much as possible, but she knows who she is, and I'm so grateful for you. So thank you for supporting me and buying me so many books and feeding my book buying addiction in my collection. We'll call it a collection. That sounds better. I'll let you guys know which ones I bought and which ones she bought, but the first one is one that I bought, and that is Tokyo Ghoul Volume 7. This one has been out of print for quite a while since I started the Tokyo Ghoul series, so I knew that I needed to grab it once I found it, and I made the mistake of not grabbing the 8th one and now I can't find it, so hopefully it's still available online. Like I said, I've been reading this series for a while. I started it last year and I've really enjoyed my time with it, although it's been such a long time since I picked up book 6 that I think I need to go back and reread all 6 volumes before this one, which is unfortunate. But basically this series is about Ken Kaneki, who is half ghoul, half human, and he has to learn about ghouls and their existence and everything that goes on with that from all of the other ghouls, and hide that part of his life from all the other humans because they obviously can't know, otherwise that would threaten ghoul existence. So it's a very fun horror manga series. I really enjoy it. It does get darker at points, so again, look up content warnings, but it's very accessible for manga, and I was very surprised and happy about that. Then I have a huge stack of Junji Ito books, so let's just go through the ones that I bought, and then we'll go through the ones that she got me. So 3 of them I bought, 4 of them she bought. The 3 that I picked up were Shiver, which is a story collection bind up, and I love the cover. I think it is so beautiful and also gory and gross. I've been wanting to collect all of Junji Ito's books for quite a while, so it was always just like pick and choose which one I wanted at what point, and this was one of the first ones that I picked up in this grandiose adventure of collecting his books because I love this cover. Honestly, it's one of my favorite ones. Then I got Fragments of Horror, obviously also by Junji Ito, which is another short story collection that I have already read. It wasn't my favorite, but I'll talk more about that in my huge wrap up from January to March. Stay tuned for that because it is coming, I promise. And then this one is just a standalone, but it is censored by Junji Ito. It's one of his newer releases. I think it's his newest release, to be honest. But this one is just like its own story, 100% by itself, no short stories, which is really what I prefer from him. His short stories are like hit or miss for me, but the longer format are what I tend to prefer. So when I saw this one, it sounded super cool and I was super excited to have it. Plus this cover is so cool. And if you take off the dust jacket, it's just beautiful. And then underneath the dust jacket, also equally gorgeous. If you don't know who Junji Ito is, by the way, I probably should have explained this sooner. He is a very well-known mangaka, specifically for horror manga. This one is like about volcanic hair. Moving on to the books that one of my friends bought me, we have Frankenstein, which is a short story collection as well, but it includes Junji Ito's illustration of Frankenstein, so I am super excited to see what that looks like. And then Smashed, another short story collection. This is another cover that I just think is so weird and cool. And this one on the back says 13 Chilling Nightmares presented by the Master of Horror. Then one that I've had my eye on for such a long time, and it's one of my most anticipated Junji Ito books to read, own, etc., all of it. No Longer Human. The fact that I have this in my hands and it's mine is so insane to me because I've been wanting it for such a long time. Can we just take a minute under the dust jacket? It's beautiful. I cannot even stand it. I have chills looking at it, just pure chills. This one is not Junji Ito's original story. The original novel is by Osamu Dezai. I don't think that I pronounced that correctly, and I am very sorry. Junji Ito just illustrated it. And then lastly, I'm not going to grab it because it's perfectly placed on my shelf right now and I don't want to mess it up, but I will pop a picture up here, is Twisted Visions by Junji Ito. This is just a book of his art. It's kind of like a coffee table book, but I have it on my Junji Ito shelf because it belongs there, and the cover is so beautiful. I mean, you can see it. So this one is just his artwork and no like text, no story or anything, but it's so beautiful and I'm so obsessed with it. So again, thank you to one of my very best friends for getting me all of these. You did not have to do that. And then lastly, for the manga section, we have volumes 2 through 4 of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood in the Full Metal editions. Volume 2 has been again, out of print for like 6 months or something like that, and I've been wanting to read it since I read volume 1 because I loved volume 1 so much. It does get pretty dark, so again, content warnings, but I was obsessed with volume 1 when I read it, and I was not expecting to love it, so I have such high expectations for this and the rest of the series. But I just want to show you how beautiful these editions are. So this is volume 2, which I've been holding up, volume 3, and volume 4. And honestly, they just get prettier as they go on. So again, I think I have to reread volume 1 since it's been since like June that I read it, almost a year at this point. I'm gonna be more than happy to do it because I loved that book. So last section of the haul, last section of the video, we are getting there. We have miscellaneous. So the first 2 that I have are just like really popular books on TikTok, and that's another vlog that I want to do. I have so many vlog ideas and so little time, but the first one is Zodiac Academy. I'm sure everybody and their mother knows about this one. This is The Awakening, Volume 1 by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. I've heard so many good things about this, and it seems to be a series that people marathon so quickly. So I am super excited to read this one. Like, it's just buzzing off of me, honestly, the excitement. I don't really know much about this except that it is set in an academy and everybody is broken up into what their zodiac sign is, and that's really it. But like I said, I've heard so many good things about this. There's like 7 books in the series, and I can't wait to be just as hooked as everybody else is on them. The other TikTok book that I got was The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. This is the traditionally published one, and I had not opened it yet, but that's beautiful. Stop it, you're kidding me. Oh my goodness, what does the back look like? It literally looks like a common room. Stop. Obsessed. All the back says is secrets, betrayal, seduction, power. Welcome to the Alexandrian Society. All I know about this one is that the Library of Alexandria never like got destroyed, it just became hidden, and that this book is very dark academia vibes. So that's literally all I know. I know that there's like a trial of some sort or something at the end, and I have a feeling that I'm really going to love this one, so hopefully that's true. And I believe the sequel comes out sometime this year, so I really need to read it very soon. Then another one that I've been eyeing literally since the arc came out, Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. I've heard really good things about this one. This one is a lot of Chinese mythology, which I'm very excited about. And I believe the Daughter of the Moon Goddess is our main character, and she ends up getting kicked off the moon and has to go into hiding because of something that happened with her mother. And then when her identity is revealed, or maybe her identity is revealed and then she has to go into hiding. I don't know, something like that, but I've heard amazing things about this. I saw Madison from Princess of Paperback read it quite a while ago and say that the twist in this was amazing, and she really enjoyed this book. So this one is a middle grade, forgot what that was called for a second, by Kelly Barnhill, and it's called The Ogress and the Orphans. She is the author who wrote The Girl Who Drank the Moon, and that won a bunch of awards. So when I saw this one, I'll be honest, what initially drew me in was the cover, because I can't get over it. It's so beautiful. But then I was talking to one of the booksellers at Barnes & Noble, and he said that he really enjoyed it and it was pretty on par with her first book, although this one does get pretty political. And then we have a graphic novel, which I have not been buying a ton of lately just because nothing really seems to intrigue me, but I read the first volume of Sea of Stars in 2020, I think, December of 2020, and I loved it so much, so I knew that I needed to get the sequel when it finally came out, and Barnes & Noble finally had it in stock, as seems to be the case for many of these. Alright friends, so I was setting up the thumbnail and I realized that I'm a big old liar and I forgot a whole section. I forgot the young adult section to haul. So we're adding it in at the end. I apologize. It's only 4 books though, so hopefully you guys can forgive me. So I'll go through it really quickly because I've already taken up so much of your time and I'm very appreciative that you've been here. First and foremost, we have The Rumor Game by Danielle Clayton and Sona Cherapocha. This one is a young adult thriller with so much mixed media in there that I am super duper excited about. And basically it's kind of like the title would insinuate, talking about like what happens in a high school setting with rumors going around and the game of telephone and how that can all spiral out of control, and how if someone just comes forward and tells the truth, all of it can go away. But what if they don't want to? It also seems like it's going to talk a lot about social media and how that plays a role in kids' experience with high school and things like that today. And like celebrities too, of course, obviously. But yeah, seems very interesting. And as soon as I saw the cover and read the synopsis, I was like, yeah, need to have it. It sounds so cool. And also kind of heartbreaking because this is such a messed up situation to be in. Then I finally picked up a copy of Legendborn. This has literally been a book that I have been trying to read for a long time. I always get like 25 to like 40% of the way through the audiobook and just get so confused because this is such high fantasy. This is an Arthurian legend retelling featuring our main character Bree, I think? Yes, Bree, who finds out that she is part of this like secret society and has powers when she goes to the school that her mom went to after her mom dies, and maybe her mom's death wasn't an accident like everybody has been telling her it was. And there's just so much more to it that I can't even explain, or to be quite frank with you, wrap my head around because I'm too dumb. So I hope that maybe picking up the physical book and then reading it along with the audiobook will help me get through it because I am really enjoying it. I'm just confused. Then one that was honestly a cover by, or it was one where the cover really intrigued me, and then I read the synopsis and I was like, okay, yes, have to have it, is The Chandler Legacies by Abdi Nazamian. I can't tell if this one's going to be a thriller or a heartwarming contemporary with like a found family element, to be honest with you, and I'm very excited. This one also takes place at an elite school. Bro. This one also takes place at like an elite private school where this group of 5 students, I'm assuming, all have like secrets and stuff, and then one day this professor assigns them to write their truth and a bunch of secrets. I'm assuming all of those secrets are going to be aired out, and I'm very excited. It sounds like it's going to be a heartbreaking story no matter which way it goes. So, and then lastly we have The Truth About White Lies by Olivia A. Cole. This one also takes place at an elite private school where our main character Shania, I think is how you pronounce her name, or maybe Shania, I have no idea. She starts attending this school, and the synopsis says that race is both invisible and hypervisible. And this at the like end of the synopsis, where it kind of just tells you not specifically what the book's about, but the themes, you know what I'm saying? It says that this one really explores race and white supremacy in our country that is both past and present, but hopefully not future. And it just explores that really well. It's been blurbed by a lot of Black authors, so I'm hoping that it does a really good job, especially because if you watched my goals video for the year, you would know that one of my reading goals is to really open my eyes and read from different backgrounds and educate myself on certain topics, especially because I grew up in such a small town that I am very aware that I am super ignorant, and that's not the way that I want it. I'm just trying to be transparent. I want to educate myself on those things because I had such a sheltered life growing up, so I'm trying to do my best. And earlier this year I tried to read a nonfiction, and I say tried past tense, but I'm still trying to read it. I'm listening to it on audiobook, and it's just like I'm never drawn to pick that back up again. So while I do want to read some more nonfiction, especially on like race and things like that, to educate myself and just like keep myself in check, if that makes sense, I also want to like be taking lessons from fiction because I think that I will absorb it better and just to be fully honest, be more likely to pick it up, even though I know that the nonfiction is fully like important and everything like that. I'm not saying that it has lesser value or anything. I just know for myself that if I'm going to achieve those goals, it will be more likely through fiction, which also holds just as much value. That's really what I am intrigued about with this one, and it sounds like it's going to be a heartbreaking story. Again, kind of on brand. That is finally my book haul, and I'll go back to the outro that literally took me 4 tries to film because I can't speak today. All right, those are all of the books that I have accumulated over the past few months. Hopefully there's not a book haul for a while, but also no promises. Yeah, let me know if you have as many issues with buying books as I do, because it seriously is a problem for me. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. I really hope you're doing well reading mentally and otherwise. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope to see you all in my next one. Bye guys.